Growing your business can mean big-time logistical questions, like how are we going to keep up with all these local deliveries? Let Uber Direct offer you a helping hand. With Uber Direct, you take orders on your website, app, or by phone. Then, drivers who are part of Uber's courier network pick them up from your store and deliver them to your customer's doorstep. Sounds simple, right? Delivery just got better with Uber Direct. Learn more at uberdirect.com.
Did you know Tide has been upgraded to provide an even better clean in cold water? Tide is specifically designed to fight any stain you throw at it, even in cold. Butter? Yep. Chocolate ice cream? Sure thing. Barbecue sauce? Tide's got you covered. You don't need to use warm water. Additionally, Tide Pods let you confidently fight tough stains with new Coldzyme technology. Just remember, if it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. This very, very, very light Halloween edition of One Nation Radio. Rich, what's going on? Besides this Green Ranger costume you were wearing.
Yes. I'm here
to call you Tommy.
Yeah. You know, I'm here to face off against the Dragon Zord, and I'm here to challenge the Red Ranger. Please let him know I would like the fade.
I'm still trying to figure out how you broke into their Zord like that one time. That was insane.
When you got the special powers, when you're wearing, the vest right here, you can do what you want. You can do what you want. I would wear the helmet sitting right behind me, but then the audio would be of not great quality. So it will just have to sit to my right as a prop in the back. And I am not above using things as props. So, James, what's going on with you, man?
Not too much. It's been kind of hectic this weekend, but it's all right. Yeah, man. Let's get into it. So, you want to start with the NBA?
Sure.
Right. Opening week of the NBA. I don't think we really talked about like finals predictions or any of that kind of stuff. I think we kind of just talked about the WNBA wrapping up and then kind of sort of talked about the NBA starting up. But
anti-men.
Anti-men. So yeah, man, like season started. We're now, I think a lot of teams are 3 or 4 games in. I think for me, the strongest impression I've seen so far is the Lakers 3-0. Second game was, they were down 20 points in the second quarter, 22 points in the second quarter, came back in and winning. Then the next down to back-to-back, LeBron James plays, and then he goes fucking nuts in the fourth quarter, at the beginning of that fourth quarter, scores 16 points, like 16 straight by himself. And yeah, like Anthony Davis looks like, when you see good Anthony Davis and you're like, why can't he do that all the time? It's like, well, because that's not realistic to ask someone to be like, one of the best big men you ever seen in your life at all times. But yeah, so far he's been excellent, Dave. I think he has gotten the ball a lot more. Obviously, they've been using him a lot different this year as far as defensively. Like they'll throw out zone and they'll use him at the top of the zone and all sorts of not stuff that like JJ is gonna throw out there. But yeah, man, like they're looking good. And also like another first impression for me is the Celtics. They're like world beaters. Jason Tatum looks like his jumper finally looks like it makes sense for the first time I've ever seen him, because it always looks like a bunch of moving parts put together. Wish he had, figured this out before the finals and during the Olympics. But yeah, looking good, man. Like, are we destined for a Celtics Lakers NBA Finals? Is that where we're headed?
That would just be absolutely disgusting. It would be like these teams cannot be good at different times. Like it's just like through the history of the league, it's like, oh, one team is good, here comes the other one.
Well, I mean, I don't remember the Lakers. I don't remember the Celtics being good during the early 2000s, but
I mean, yeah, they was all right.
Actually, let me make this up. I don't remember the Lakers being or the Celtics being much good of most of my lifetime of my life. This is more of a 2008 and since type of thing. Like, they'll make a couple playoffs here, they'll get their ass probably bounced early.
Yeah. The Lakers have looked like a big surprise. Biggest story in the league, Bronny James, showed up, ran around a little bit, got some conditioning in, and, went back to the bench in the G League. It looks like AD, the offense is going through AD. He's averaging 4 more shots per game, which will even out to a lot more. I believe he was player of the week. He's averaging like 34 and 11, something like that. So like they're looking good. They're shooting a lot more threes, and JJ Redick actually seems to like this team kind of seems locked in, like in a way that I don't feel like they have ever been locked in. Like as far as this group, like I'm seeing the different clips come out of them in practice, and I'm like, these are the kind of things that you want to see championship teams, kind of looking like that camaraderie, what it looks like. And JJ's out here D'ing up in practice and just doing ridiculous stuff. So I'm gonna ride the early wave. Like, there's bound to be some kind of wall they hit. Yeah. But early on, like, usually the Lakers be trash at the beginning of the season, like no matter what, like just getting crushed on the opening day and just all that stuff. This is a historical thing, so kind of strange.
Yeah, I think this is the first time they've been like 3-0 to start the season since like 2011, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I think the Orlando Magic have been looking really good. They're kind of like the basketball heads, the hardcore's sleeper team. Paolo Banchero went for 50 tonight.
Really?
37 in the first half. Went crazy against the Pacers. So like he's coming. I believe they are undefeated. LaMelo Ball is losing his fucking mind. Like, it's like he's not hurt no more. So it's like the leap is coming. I did not sell my LaMelo Ball stock. Trae Young's playing pretty good. He had a rough game tonight, but aside from that, he had been going crazy as well. As you mentioned, the Celtics. Trying to think who else. Russell Westbrook looking like this is the end. Like they might give him that. You remember how Allen Iverson? They was like, yeah, man. Like they'll tap you on the shoulder and be like, how you want to do this? Yeah. Like. And it's kind of like I haven't got a chance to watch a Nuggets game, but it seems like that team has taken multiple steps back from their championship form, and it's just like trying to like the league has fucked them with the apron thing, and then like they could not afford to keep this team together, and the parts that they have tried to replace them with, they have tried to cheap out on, and they are showing the difference between what makes a champion and like the thin margin of what knocks you back to the rest of the pack. Yeah.
As far as the Nuggets concerned, like I'm not going to put all this blame on Westbrook that they're bad, but like he's their sixth man and it's not going well. And like when I watched them, I think second night or I forgot whatever night it was. I think it was first night actually. Christian Braun looks like I have no issue with their starting five.
Mm-hmm.
Their starting five is still very.
Is he starting for them now?
Sorry, he starts for them.
Is Christian Braun? Oh, okay.
Christian Braun starts for them now, and and like you watch him play, and it's like he fits so well with the other four on the floor, and like Jokic looks for him, and he's a guy that's always moving and cutting and slashing, right? the problem is they have no bench now. They have nothing out. They have nothing on the bench. And when Westbrook has come in and he's supposed to be the second unit guy, it's been a disaster. It's been a disaster. So, Westbrook probably ever since 2020 has started late in seasons. So I ain't writing him out yet because he's beaten these wash allegations multiple times in the first like from the season starts to Christmas, like the last few years. But if they're going to be so far behind in the standings, this is not no team. This is a team that's going to need home court and seeding help. This ain't a team that was like Jokic scored 40 and they still lost the other day, right? So that you mentioned the margins. You get lose KCP this year, lose your boy last year. I was talking shit
Bruce
to
Brown,
D'Angelo. Yeah, like that's all it took. That's all it took. I mean, there's also a part where Michael Porter Jr. was out here gambling for Game 7. I was kind of like he was gambling Game 7, but outside of that, like the margins are that thin. It's two players and a questionable outlier of a game from a person that's never played bad like this before, having all-time worst game after the pressure of winning a title was already off at the crib.
Strange.
And his brother
Very
got
strange.
suspended for got banned from the league for gambling. Questions weren't asked about his brother though. But whatever.
Amazing.
I'm not mad. I want to talk to Rich about this like every month since it happened. I'm not mad though. I'm not mad. No, not at all. So yeah.
I think who else? The Knicks are starting out a little slow.
Who?
The Knicks.
Yeah. I mean, they got their teeth kicked in by the Celtics. In game opener.
I think it's going to take them a little while to make everything kind of mesh, but they'll probably get off to a slow start. But look for them.
Yeah, I mean, Timberwolves. It don't look great.
I mean, Randall was playing. I think he had a good game the other night, but it's tough, like with those teams, because it's almost like, what if those teams would have just ran it one more year, like as is?
Yeah. Real quick, I got to answer this because Dr. Larry said James with no turtleneck because I promised that I'd wear a turtleneck. I said I was going to wear a turtleneck. I thought to myself, okay, so if James wears the sleeveless turtleneck with a bald head and a beard, I think you niggas in the chat knowing how I got jokes, y'all would have said, oh, he looks like 90s R. Kelly. Nope, not getting me. Nope, not getting me. You're not doing it. It's not happening. So I was like, nope. We're not doing I've never done a costume. Not doing a costume. No aesthetics. Not happening.
Unreal.
Yeah. Y'all want finna get me. Y'all gonna put me next to the fucking the R album. Not doing it. Absolutely not.
So Dwayne Wade received a statue yesterday. Allegedly, it's him in the statue. This is one of the worst statues I've ever seen. Like immediately I was like,
right.
I was like, hold on, what? Like,
yeah.
Like that's like, and then it's not only that it doesn't look like him, it's like the expression makes it worse. And like the color kind of like makes it also worse. So it's like,
the color,
why didn't y'all just go
the color of the bronze, like the bronze of the statue made it worse?
It looks like it's gray.
That might just be like the camera angle though.
Yeah.
So like, I will say this. When I first saw me, it's like, there ain't no damn Dwayne Wade. Who the fuck is this supposed to be?
Yeah.
Which didn't let me down it comes up every blue moon where like NFL Hall of Fame, they have their bus, like or whatever else, and you never see them. They get unveiled and you're like, oh, that don't look like them. And two of my favorites immediately came to mind. Deion Sanders is in my backdrop for those that are watching. Deion Sanders, when he unveiled he took his off and they had him with like his early 80s hair or late 80s hair. So like, the post Jerry curl, if you will, or post Jerry curl. We'll call it post Jerry curl. And so it looks like he has like 90s Dan Marino hair instead of a Jerry curl because they don't know how to handle, they don't know how to process that into a sculpture, right? They don't know how to do that, right? So then you have the look of it, don't look like him, but you know who it doesn't like? It looks like his old teammate from the Dallas Cowboys. That's right. You're going to be like, wait, are you saying it looks like Emmitt Smith? No. Like Michael Irvin? No. It looks like Troy Aikman. Which means the Jigga Man Jay-Z is in the Hall of Fame because Troy Aikman and Jay-Z are cross-racial doppelgangers. So I remember when Dion saw that bus, and you know how he is. He's always gonna do everything. Everything is always. He realizes the camera's on at all times. Big old smile. Got the big smile. Put the bandana on his head. I was like, take that damn bandana off or Troy Aikman head. Get the fuck out of here, man. So if you look, you can see like look at my screen, my backdrop. Does that look like Deion Sanders in the picture next to him? Does that both look like Deion Sanders or his teammate Troy Aikman in the past? You tell me. I
gotta say, you make a compelling point.
Right.
Looking at him, it's just like, wow.
No. So then, more recently than that, you got Ray Lewis's Hall of Fame bust, and I feel like I'm the only. Now people talked about the Deion one, right? No one talks about the Ray Lewis one. Ray Lewis took his off. And I'm like, that don't look like Ray Lewis, bro. But you know who that does look like? That looks like former Notre Dame head coach Tyrone Willingham. And I don't think Rich ever caught this one, but when I showed him the picture, he was like, oh, yeah. Yeah. That don't look like Ray. That look like Tyrone.
Yeah, man.
So, I don't know how you end up with these mistakes like this. These kind of not terrible. Like, people trying, but it's like, how do you get the chiseling and all that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden, like, you look at your reference and lose reference, and then you keep going? No, throw it out, start over. Don't you practice on mold before you practice on the the hard stone or whatever it is?
You know what other one looked crazy was that Cristiano Ronaldo one, I think.
Yes, I have seen that.
He looked like a crazy man.
Yes, his eyes are bulged out his eyes. Eyes about to bulge out the socket. Yeah.
The Warriors have started the season pretty strong as well. I think they might still be alive too.
Yeah, I mean, but their situation, like they're still going to be a fringe. They're going to be a play-in type of team or whatever else, and that's fine. I'm just looking around is like, all right, what teams do we expect to like turn into buyers from last year?
Dallas.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Like, who do we think are going to be sellers and be like, yeah, we made playoffs last year, we out. We're not even going to try. Because there has to be a thing, and like...
The Sixers.
You think the Sixers are going to be out? Even though they just traded for Paul George.
They just traded for Paul George, but Joel Embiid's going to not play a lot of games. They're going to have
But he always doesn't play every game anyway.
They're going to have two different teams. It's gonna be like everybody's gonna be confused about their roles eventually, and the Milwaukee Bucks have gotten off to kind of a slow start.
Yeah,
I think they'll be fine in the long run, but Doc Rivers coach team is not winning a motherfucking thing in 2024. I don't care. Like, who else?
The Clippers.
Oh yeah, the Clippers. Like, is James Harden going to try to be like, hey man, send me to Houston? Like, how long is James Harden going to try to run a scam or a con to convince somebody to be like, you know what, we'll go get him from the Clippers? Look, he's just out there by himself now because Kawhi's not about to play.
Yeah, that's the reason why they're done. Like, was there any prognosis or was there any like timeline on when they expect him back?
It's Kawhi Leonard. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
We'll just get a random notification. He's playing tonight. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
it's January. Like,
and then all of a sudden, like after a month back, he'll reel off being like playing like a first team All NBA player like he did last year. So what the fuck? How are you so good when you play and your knee just go out on you? All right, well, I guess I got to go back to rehabbing. Fuck.
Yeah,
man. It's
a lot of kind of talk about like the playing styles and the 3-point shooting and stuff like that, but I don't know, like if that bothers me as much as the load management stuff. Like, I'm like, people are gonna shoot threes. It's just smart strategy at this point. Can't go backwards at this point unless they start modifying the rules, which I've heard people like Nick Wright advocate for. He did say,
is he one of people say get rid of corner threes?
I think he did that. It was like like make it the same distance as like the top, and then like he said something like make dunks worth 3, and I was like, you've got my attention. Like if you make dunks worth 3, oh my god, Anthony Edwards is gonna be trying to dunk on everybody.
Nah, forget Anthony Edwards. What about Ja? He'll be out the league in 2 years from so many falls on the floor.
That would be insane.
He'll like damn, like all these like wings, they'll be out the league like fucking running backs. Like, damn, bro, he was great. What happened? He kept falling to the ground. Everything. He went the way of Dwayne Wade. You keep on falling and keep getting up until you stop getting up anymore.
That was his old sneaker. That way of Wade.
Yeah, it's like them dudes that keep falling. They don't play past 33 at a high level or whatever else. Iverson, Wade, like, hey man, you ain't stay your ass off the ground. The ground is where the pain is. Nah,
like the ground don't move. You
right.
do.
You do. Your bones do. Your ligaments, your tendons do.
Thunder whooping ass.
Yep.
Trying to think who else. Besides that, like I don't know, like, you know, early on, like it's looking like, you know, the Lakers, like, they keep this thing together, like they might have a way better chance than I thought.
Right, because the Nuggets thing looks done. It looks cooked. And they look like, you know, last year I thought they were the favorites, and they caught that weird matchup, and then Timberwolves blew that up. They blew that up themselves. I don't know how they score in crunch time in the playoff game, other than to say, Ant bail us out, right? So yeah, like if this looks the way it's going, like the Lakers, like they have a puncher's chance to make another conference finals. I know it's still early, but like they are doing things that they were not doing before as a team. Like they're running consistent plays. Like, I said to you, I think it was against either the Suns or against the Kings. Can't remember, but it was like, why do I feel like the way that like they are repeatedly doing pick and rolls with or the LeBron and AD pick and rolls? I feel like that got them the 2020 title, and then like after 2021, they never did that again. I used to be like, why aren't they running? Why aren't they, you doing pick and rolls with either LeBron or with Reeves with AD, where he get easy buckets for AD just as a short roller or rim runner or pick and pop. It ought to be pick and pop. So yeah, like
apparently Anthony Davis has scored 16 points in the first quarter tonight.
There you go. I didn't even know they were playing right now.
Yeah, they're playing the Suns.
I got the World Series. Right, that's right. I got the World Series up right now, watching my team go down in flames. About to turn the 0-2 into the 0-3.
0-3, goddamn.
Yeah. Hey, at least they won a pennant. First time in 15 years.
Yeah, y'all boys better start watching that new documentary on Netflix called The Comeback. About the Boston Red Sox. Maybe I'll get some inspiration.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get inspiration from that. I don't think so.
I watched it the
especially because most of these players so damn
really
young, they didn't remember this shit. They're like, they'd be like, wait, what is this whole thing about the curse? That was a thing? No, yeah. Oh wait, but they've won a bunch since then. Like, what were they just sorry for 86 years? Whatever it was. I remember there was an episode of some daytime or some like prime time. I think it was Ally McBeal talking about like, do you want the curse to be broken? They're like, no, I don't want the curse to be broken, because if the curse is broken, that means that we were just sorry for all them years. Like, look, man, was it 4 titles since then? 5?
3.
Okay.
2004, 2007. Actually,
13.
4. I take that back. 4.
Yeah. 04, 7, 13,
and 18.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that 13 team was my fucking squad. Oh my god. But yeah, I watched that whole documentary. That was pretty fun.
I got an outfit for you. Should I have worn a Florida State shirt and a Yankee hat and my costume would have been a loser? My team's out here embarrassing the fuck out of me right now, ain't they? Woo, boy.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of a loser, somebody lost a job. The WNBA, lots of coaches around the league have been shown the door. The latest being Christy Sides in Indiana. So if you're wondering about the name in Indiana, that's right. the coach of Caitlin Clark's team has been fired.
Yeah.
They got to the 6th seed in the league. It went 500. Started the season 1-8. Rebounded from there. But all year, it was kind of this feeling that Chrissy Sides was kind of in over her head. Seemed like she was kind of offensively challenged, and she gave kind of numerous quotes early in the year and even preseason where it just didn't seem like she was aware of what she had in Caitlin Clark. So she seemed like an old era coach that basically got handed this Ferrari and was like, yeah, find a way to drive this, but she wants to drive slow. And, you know, between when she first, you know, signed on as a coach, they hadn't drafted Aaliyah Boston yet. So, like, you get that, and then you get the number 1 pick again, and through no fault of your own, team's still sorry, whatever. And then you get Caitlin, and then all of a sudden, this team, the time frame and the timeline speeds way up. Yep. And they overhaul the front office completely. Basically, the lady that brought you in, Lynn Dunn, has been given like a senior advisor role at this point. So she was the GM, not in power. They hired a new GM, which is an old GM that built the title team before. And Chrissy Sides, you know, while all this is going on, there's reporting about Stephanie White, the coach of the Connecticut Sun, who beat the Fever in the playoffs. This is going to be a crazy rivalry, by the way, in the coming years with how this is going. There was all this, you know, these backroom reports of basically saying, yeah, they're targeting Stephanie White, who has history as a player and a coach in Indiana and is the hottest coaching prospect essentially since Cheryl Reeve. So, like, they basically fired Chrissy Sides yesterday. Caitlin Clark did nothing to stop it. Whatever, chunked the deuce, and it's looking like they're, you know, Stephanie White is going to be the new coach. But what did you think about Chrissy Sides getting that box?
I mean, by box means a box of belongings that, you know, like as you take your belongings out of the office, out of the facility, out of the building, with
getting her key card snatched.
Yeah. You know, you get
key fob.
This is the WNBA. You can't be saying somebody got handed the box. That's kind of wild. That's kind of wild. You gotta like preface these things. Anyway, so yeah, man. Like, all right. So I remember you showing me clips of the coach of Chrissy Sides talking about Caitlin and everything, and I was just be like, no, she don't get it. She don't get it. She doesn't get what she has, right? And like, at first she was talking about, you know, they were trying to play inside out still for forever. And then like they struggled early on because they played them against the slew of the Aces and the Suns. They were kicking their ass in. So it was a lot of trouble. But the main thing was like the one thing that I will give her credit for is like they did try to do like turn Aaliyah Boston into a short roller on pick and rolls with Caitlin Clark. And it took Aaliyah Boston time, but eventually, like after the Olympic break, like she figured it out. She hit the ground running after the Olympic break. So did Caitlin, as far as the health and the rest from, you know, playing so many games, from really having no break from Iowa to the W. So yeah, I'll give her credit for that. But when she initially comes in and she doesn't realize she has, you're talking about like, you know, she's step in on those threes or whatever else. It's like, no, she don't need to step in on those threes. You need her to knock two of those down. She extends the defense, therefore making the offense easier to run. Therefore making, you know, like extends the defense, therefore there's more alleys and lanes for passing. Like, nah. So it was just a continual struggle to see her like finally get it. There's like, no, you have a special player that is going to change some of the rules of offensive philosophy in the W. You need to be ahead on this, otherwise you're gonna be left behind. And you know, it appears that after, you know, that 1-8 start.
Yeah, 1-8.
A little too late. Like there has to be somebody offensive minded that is ahead of this or whatever else. And I'm not saying they need to go into, you know, grab somebody that's unfamiliar with W or whatever else, because, you know, me and you have complained about or I feel like, you know, we're at a spot where professional basketball where seemingly the ground roots of it is behind. Nothing's being innovated except for the professional level. Like normally when it comes to like football, right? Strategy as far as, not or going forward on fourth down, personnel, like spreading the field, trick plays, hurry up, all that kind of stuff. That was really like, they got all that stuff in the NFL was like being done in Texas high school football 20 years ago, 15 years ago, right? And it was from the ground level up to the pros. And they were, and the NFL was dragged kicking and screaming into using mobile quarterbacks from high school through college and all that kind of stuff, right? We start using the utterly woke quarterback now, right? I think it was 15 black quarterbacks this year starting to open day, right? That is most industries, right? Like most entertainment industries is like, it starts at the ground floor at grassroots efforts and then comes up as the higher it goes. The NBA is different. Everything pretty much as far as innovation in the last decade or so basically has came from either the NBA or Europe, FIBA, or EuroLeagues. So like, hey, every year I see a new innovative flop. That's just people following. Like, anyway, so in the W, a lot of the people, I think a lot of the clash of the Caitlin Clark stuff that was happening in discourse was people that watch NBA coming into the W and open faith being like, oh my God, this how your offices ran? Like, I understand it's still, most of the talent is still a big woman's league, right? But it's like, yo, y'all still play with two bigs? Y'all still like inside out dumping into the post? Like, so I think there's a lot of the things like, hey man, there's a better way to do this, and like it ain't because the women don't have the capability to do this stuff. Like there are people that can shoot three. There are a bunch of women that can shoot threes. Utilize corner threes in the W more. That was already happening, but like it felt like watching some of these W games. Like it felt like watching like late 2000s NBA basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. I grew up on that, but it's like the Spurs can't. The only like. It's like everybody's Spurs. Like everybody's a team. Like everyone, like on the W, like everybody, like utilizes the corner threes. But like the Steph Curry stuff or whatever else, it was still kind of behind. So yeah, man. Like obviously, there's less teams, so obviously, there's more talent, and obviously, when you have such concentration of talent, it's going to come down to talented people and big bodies. That's what it's going to be, right? So, you mentioned the Creasy size thing. Like I want to point out, like the person that really mostly changed stuff in the NBA was Steph Curry, right? And the people around Steph Curry. So I'm going to look through his year-to-year stats right now if I can find them. Stats. Here we go. So I'm just going to point out like the 3-point boom around Steph Curry, right? So Steph Curry comes to the league, takes 5 threes a game. Then
which sounds crazy now. Like that's it.
Yeah. Because in 2010, that's a shit ton of threes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next year, 4.5. 2012, 4.7, and then 2013, his breakout year, he's shooting 7.7, but he's making 45%. That's what made the Warriors a full on. They're gonna make the playoffs every single year now, right? And then they move on from
Mark Jackson
after 2014, right? Then he goes to 8 a year. Still shooting 40%. Then his unanimous MVP year, 11.2, 45%. 10, 9.8, 11.7, 9.8, 12, 11.7, 11.4, 11.8. Like that. It was a twos or more than threes. You seem to be the person, like the only person ever in the history of this sport, or you are the only person ever in the history of sport. We found this out through him is he's going to shoot 45% for three no matter what you do. He can shoot 4 of them a game. He could shoot 7 of them a game. He could shoot 8 of them a game. He could shoot 90 all the way to 12. He's still shooting 45% a game. That's what changed this. And it ain't just getting up the shots. It's we have to get out there and guard him out to 35 feet because it might still be 45% chance he's going to go in. And then he gets behind you, and then, or he dumps, or you trap him, you blitz the screen, you dump off the line, it's a fucking lob. Look, at the rim to Andre Iguodala or at this point now, your boy Kuminga.
Or Klay Thompson is wide the fuck open. Like
right. So that's the evolution of this. And for her and for the league, she is that relative to the league that she's in. There's going to be people are going to have to, or whoever her next coach is needs to like push this as far as the boundaries are on this, as far as how many 3-pointers she takes in a game and how far her range is and everything, and utilize that. Aaliyah Boston is ready for it. She's worked on it all year in her second year. I'm very interested to see what those two do together over the next few years together as teammates. And someone's got the opportunity to like really evolve WNBA offensive basketball.
Yeah, and it really like is going to force people to catch up because it like any other league is we'll be like, oh, how can we do that? And how do we work this in? And then like someone like Cheryl Reeves is going to figure it out. If you look at the Lynx, like they already kind of play like that. Alana Smith shoots threes. Collier shoots threes. Like their entire lineup shoots threes.
They're spread out. It's just, it's spread. It's a lot of 4 out, and sometimes 5 out. Like when they went very small against when they put Sabally in, it was Sabally, Brianna, and John Quill. Like they were like, all right, you want to do that? We'll run 5 out, and we'll just attack we'll just attack John Quill with Caleb McBride if we get that matchup.
Yeah.
Like, for as much as Cheryl Reed had to, hold down the fort for Team USA basketball, she appears to know what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah.
For her following the sword for that institution, she seems to appear to know what the fuck she's doing.
Like,
this is her 4th ring, 5th ring, whatever.
Like I've been in some of my videos, I've been talking about Cheryl Reeve lately, and I was like, "There's this begrudging respect building for her." So, but yeah, like I think size kind of went as far as she could, and if she's a defensive coach, that's kind of like you're not coaching a team that's like built with a lot of defenders, so it kind of is going to be rough for you to maintain that reputation.
They had the best offense in the league post All-Star or post Olympic break, and it's like, well, what? I mean, don't get me wrong, they had one of the worst defenses ever, and they actually improved. Like everything improved for that team at post the break.
Yeah,
but what's going to take them to beyond just we got into the playoffs to get to round 2 and round 3 potentially is offense.
Yeah. Like, and it was crazy because I was like, if it was up to me, like I would have probably gave her 1 more year and just saw how she like kind of grew with the team, but the team decided no. Like we are competing now. Like so they've got a plan, and the league is getting very aggressive as far as like the coaching stuff. There's 9 openings, including the expansion clubs.
That's insane.
Yeah, so like it's Toronto and Golden State. So there's really only 7, but it'll be 8 with Golden State. Toronto hasn't even they're coming the following season.
But still, like it's basically half the league still.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Can you imagine 15 open NBA vacancies?
Bro, it would be
insane.
Bro, it would be like constant news alerts, like of something. But it's gonna be interesting to see who gets these jobs, where they pull them from. Are there gonna be people from the NBA that are coming in? Or are they gonna try to offer some big college coaches to come in, because a lot of college coaches stay in college because that money, that shit is there, and it is not like in the traditionally.
It's very comparable, if not better.
Yeah, it's way better. Like like Dawn Staley or like Gino Oriema.
I wouldn't even think about them. Of course, those two. Yeah,
like they making like $3 million. Like Kim Mulkey paid. But yeah, I would be interested to see if somebody from the NBA jumps, like whether it's like some high profile assistant or somebody like that. But
you mean like back in the day when they used to have like Lambeer?
Yeah, but I think even he would be kind of antiquated now.
Oh, I just meant like in general.
Yeah. Like
if Jeff Van Gundy is really that dead set on coaching again, he coaching pro basketball again. Like he goes. He does all the stuff. He goes to all the seminars. He's always up to date. All that kind of stuff. All right, Coach W.
Right. Like somebody's gonna get a look somewhere with like that. But yeah, man, I guess we should move on to wrestling. Why the people came.
Growing your business can mean big-time logistical questions, like how are we going to keep up with all these local deliveries? Let Uber Direct offer you a helping hand. With Uber Direct, you take orders on your website, app, or by phone. Then, drivers who are part of Uber's courier network pick them up from your store and deliver them to your customer's doorstep. Sounds simple, right? Delivery just got better with Uber Direct. Learn more at uberdirect.com.
The future of cool, comfortable sleep is here. Introducing the new Sleep Number Climate Cool Smart Bed. The only smart bed in the world that actively cools and effortlessly adjusts to both of you. Sleep up to 15 degrees cooler on each side. It actively cools to keep you cool and comfortable throughout the night. Save on smart beds now during our fall sale, exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
But yeah, it is Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame season. Once again, I am not a voter, and I don't know what I have to do at this point. But whatever, I'll figure it out one of these days. And if not, oh well. The only really interesting category for me this year is the U.S. one. Mexico's kind of got, their own thing. Japan, a lot of people already got in. So there's a couple people on there like Shingo might get in.
Right. Because Ishii got in last year, right?
Yeah, Ishii got in. Like pretty much all the guys in Japan that I would have voted for are probably in, maybe except Shima. But they added new people on the U.S. side. You can get 7 in. There are some names that I think are interesting to talk about. And then there are ones that I'm like, absolutely the fuck not. And then there are people on there that is like, maybe they have a case. I just don't feel like voting for them as a first timer. I don't know. But yeah, man, it's, so I'm going to pull up the list here. So I'll go through it. So the U.S. candidates are Asuka, so Kana, Asuka,
right.
Mark and Jay Briscoe, the Young Bucks, Edge, Goldberg, Samoa Joe, Matt and Jeff Hardy, Becky Lynch, Jon Moxley, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, Paul Orndorff, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Trish Stratus, Rick and Scott Steiner, Jimmy and Jay Uso, Sid Vicious, Bray Wyatt, and Sami Zayn.
Okay.
So, I got my 7 that I would vote if I had a vote.
Okay.
So I'm going to jump into who I probably would vote and then tell you why, I guess. Or I'll do the 7 first.
You're doing your 7 most likely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first, the Young Bucks. I don't think that's any kind of major surprise. I thought it was a travesty of the institution. They didn't go in first ballot last year. 55% last year, 5% away. You would think they would go in this time. You can add some more pay-per-view business to their resume. You can add probably another Tag Team of the Year award, but I don't think
the Sting final match.
Yep. I don't think anybody is basically being won over that isn't like they're not voting on the Young Bucks' accomplishments or their matches or their merch or their credentials in any form. They are voting with the fact that they resent these guys for being responsible for starting the true alternative in America, the television deal. Like all this shit rolls back up to the Young Bucks at the end of the day. I think that, quite frankly, if they don't get in, Dave needs to burn the institution to the ground if they don't get in this year. And last year, you could have argued
they should have
that.
gotten in last year. Stupid. Like everybody, like all the original EVP should have got it. Should get in first ballot. What are we talking about? What's there to discuss? Especially now that there's the TV deal happen. I'm sorry. The third TV deal.
Yeah.
This is the third TV deal.
Yeah. And, you know, it's like retired wrestlers are on them, retired professionals, different stuff like that. This entire block did not vote for them last year. So it's amazing the data that we have to look at where, because it's like, all right, we know what's influencing this and just how stupid it is, and they just have to keep banging their head up against this. Hopefully they don't have to do this anymore, and then we can go ahead and do our victory laps and celebrate Matt and Nick Jackson for being the all-timers that they are. Oh, also their new contracts where they got the most money ever for a tag team. I don't know, man. Like, that was their last year. Sorry. But yeah, Dave should blow the institution up if the Bucks don't get in. I'm voting for Goldberg. I'm a Goldberg voter. I know it's only, a short amount of time, and he came back with his old man runs in 2017 and after that. But this guy's a fucking phenomenon, and sometimes you just gotta reward a phenomenon because if you weren't there to like experience it, trust the people that were, like, and he's as popular as anybody or as over as anybody ever was in the history of wrestling, like according to Arn Anderson. Like, so I'm just thinking about like
during one of the hottest years of North American pro wrestling, he was at worst the second hottest wrestler.
Yeah, so
he's the second hottest wrestler in 1998. Sorry. So I'm not like I don't know if I'd vote for him, but like anyone like scoffing at like the idea that he should have a be considered is like, nah, man, you're out of your mind.
Also, a vote for Goldberg is a vote for WCW. So I'm gonna go ahead and reward them there. Up next for me will be Jon Moxley. I think already this guy was shafted. I think he only got like, he was in the teens last year. I remember arguing with people in the VOW forums. Like, there's a Hall of Fame chat that people were mortified that I would take into consideration that this guy has won 2 Flair Thez awards. Like, how the fuck is he not in? Like, and acting like it was some absurd concept to not think the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards should factor into the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
like,
meanwhile, like saying,
nobody else has done this, right, that isn't in.
Right, like the Bill Simmons pyramid is like, I think the rule is like nobody can be below a level 4 out of the higher you go up the level, the more elite you are. Like level 5 is Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Level 4 is like Scottie Pippen. Level 3 is like let's see, someone like Paul Pierce, right?
Mm-hmm.
The high, like, I think his rule is like, unless something tragic happened, someone ever wins MVP in the 78 year history of the NBA. If you win MVP, you cannot be below like level 4, unless something tragic happened. Like Derrick Rose would be someone who like, he won league MVP. He's not level 4,
right?
Because his bad knees and then his career completely altered, right? Like for Jon Moxley to post WWE be one of the 2 handfuls of best wrestlers of the time since then, that says something. 5 years is a long fucking time in wrestling. So he would have my vote. Absolutely, he would have my vote. He had my vote 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think he went on last year, but I think he might have fell off once. But yeah, like this guy, like him jumping, I think was such a shock to the system, and basically like should kind of be preserved of his importance because
he should get kind of EVP status I was talking about earlier because of this. It's like he became the ace of this company that got that became the second biggest pro wrestling promotion ever. That's not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
The guy that became the ace over a 5-year span, the person he was pointing to be the ace over a 5-year span, and became the most like successful pro wrestling company ever, isn't a Hall of Famer? What?
And like people can like, bang that under historical significance. Let's talk about this guy as a worker. How about that? Like, because I know some people would look at, necessarily like there'll always be like the Shield members, right? And Seth Rollins will be looked at as the work rate guy amongst them. I'm here to tell you, you pull up their cage match pages and you tell me who's actually putting numbers on the board.
Yeah.
Like,
especially, since he left for AEW New Japan. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Like, I think this guy is like, I have been thrilled with his work this year, but like when you lay his career down on paper so far, it's like, I don't need to see anymore. Like this guy's already likely done the best work he's ever going to do. Right. He's already put it on the board.
And not being thrilled with his work is in comparison to what he did the first 4 years in AEW.
Right.
That's where we're kind of like, this on, the New Japan Championship run, and then like I'm sure if I looked up the match ratings, like, oh, I mean he's having a decent year, but he was having MVP caliber years for 4 years in a row.
I believe he's the first guy to be the WWE, AEW, and the IWGP champion.
That's crazy.
So that sounds like a Hall of Famer to me.
Yeah. Kind of.
Breaking my 1-year ban on voting for him, CM Punk. So CM Punk in the last year, I want to say, yeah, because like it all timed up perfectly. So like he has not wrestled that many matches, and he has not wrestled or cut that many great promos, and it has been like kind of weird anything that I've seen him do, but I think he's a Hall of Famer still, because like, all right, this guy's still like a monster business mover.
Yep.
A quarter-hour draw, and he is, for the negative influence, and I think we should that should not get lost, because I think a lot of people will look at him and be like, yeah, it's just great, but there was a negative influence to this guy, but like it turns out it wasn't strong enough. As far as like to doom AEW, the perception of him and stuff like that, but just laying it down on his own work. This guy was, he was the lightning rod at the beginning of last decade. He had, probably like the first 6 months in AEW was as strong as anything there. And, looking at his era, like he was better than a lot of guys that are, passing through on that thing. So, personally, like I don't really care for the guy and, whatever, but like I would still vote for him.
Yep. I would have voted for him last year. So nothing changed. Like, look, even that fucking SummerSlam match,
that shit was terrible.
That shit was awful. And then he came back for Hell in a Cell and was like, all right, James, I understand your ass. I got something for you. He's like, all right. So yeah, man. Yeah, he definitely is someone I would have voted for. I would vote for as well. Now it's going to get interesting because like there are two people that are on here that I would, or there's one person on here that like, I we have talked about ain't there. I think he's probably there now.
I got three more. So, okay. I got Roman Reigns on my list. Yep. And I don't think I would have voted for him in the past. And it's not like he's put up substantially more work because he's, this guy barely wrestles ever. So, but they were popping absurd quarter hours. Mm-hmm. And he did get completely swallowed by The Rock in this build this past year. But you throw another WrestleMania main event under, his belt with, a huge money gate on it.
His second great one he's ever had.
Yeah.
He's never mind. Go ahead, continue.
But I think it's just the numbers have added up too far for Roman Reigns, and he sucked for a lot of his career. Like I think, and it was just like failure after failure after failure, and then like eventually all these years and all this data stacks up, and then it's just too much to deny at this point. So I would vote for Roman Reigns begrudgingly.
Yeah, I think the years that stand out for him in the ring is 2016. But yeah, man, like the stuff he's done with at different parts of this mob boss run, tribal chief run, stuff with Cesaro, stuff with Danielson, the stuff with Cody. Those are things that stand out. The stuff in between, they definitely were popular. People were definitely into it. It was the biggest thing in the industry. But I think a lot of that stuff was formulaic and stunk. But that's my opinion. People love that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of a lot of the wrestling that he's done of late. Like,
yeah. Regardless of my opinion on it, people love it. He comes out now, during these matches in the last year or post WrestleMania, and when he comes out, bro, they react as if Jesus himself is came out. So yeah, man, it's there, and I'm also doing this in anticipation of whatever thing he has with Rock, whatever thing rematch eventually he has with Cody down the line or whatever else, it's all set up for him. Like, so if you was a person that's holding your hands on this stuff from the stuff that when Vince was pushing him like shit as a shitty babyface to be a John Cena replacement in the late to mid 2010s, I get it. The tribal chief thing is now at this point where like it's undeniable. It's done so much business. Like he's one of the few things that actually stands out on its own aside from the machine of WWE. So for me, yeah, I put him, after that match with Cody, regardless of how ridiculous I think all the run-ins were, him and Cody wrestled their asses off until the bullshit machine started happening. But the bullshit machine went to overdrive, and the people that love that shit have it as one of the greatest matches of all time. Not knocking for it. I enjoyed the hell out of that match. I laughed at the shit they loved, but whatever. The match went. And so yeah, like for me, whether it's this year or next year or whatever else, after the whatever monumental success they have from 2 nights of WrestleMania in Vegas or whatever else, with doing the Rock thing finally, it's gonna become undeniable for everybody at some point. Even Josh Smith from Keepin It Strong Style.
So the next person I think is
who will tell you all about the Road Warriors.
So the next person I think is a categoric fake. I believe nothing that comes out of his mouth under any circumstances, and I think is a 100% phony most of the time. But Cody Rhodes, come to the stage.
Yeah, him too. He's definitely on this. He definitely should be in.
Yeah. So like, obviously you get the points for the AEW forefather or founding father.
Yep.
It went bad there at the end. But
I think it went longer than bad for the end. I think it went bad for the last year.
About halfway through. Yeah.
That look, QT Marshall feud. What the fuck going on? What's happening? Why is this on my screen? Who is this for?
Hey man, when you take yourself out the mix, who you left to work with? Your friends. But since going back to WWE, he's been pushed pretty much flawlessly aside from beating him the first year of WrestleMania. Well, which I still think he should have just won off the rip.
He did that job to The Rock and Night 1 this year.
There's that too.
And I don't know if he gets a match with The Rock, okay, cool. You think he get a match with The Rock?
Who knows?
You think Rock finna do two singles matches at this stage of the game?
Like, we always kind of wondered, like, when, like, now I don't understand why people cheer him at all. When I look at, like, the presentation of his character, when I look at, like, this guy wearing a fucking suit being a kiss ass to the management, who calls out the management to the ring after, way beyond my comprehension.
That's because the management ain't Vince McMahon no more. Batman gone, Rich. Batman gone. That's what that is.
He also
Batman
called
gone.
out
Triple H gonna save everybody. He gonna fix
Nick
everything.
Khan was out there. Who was
who you say?
Look, Nick Khan. He called him out too. And look, that man's name is on papers right now.
Is he corporate officer number 1? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like everything about him as a wrestler and a babyface, I do not like or understand or get. Too successful.
Yep.
Doing this. And it's just like throw my hands up. Like I think some of the promo stuff is kind of funny and goofy and stuff like that, but this guy at the end of the day is a worker who will lie to you at about anything,
any turn. He will be in AEW. He will be in AEW and tell his favorite wrestler all the time is Sting, and then show back up WWE and say his favorite wrestler all the time was Triple H.
It's amazing. Like I
he
see
will get
the
on
guy.
live. He will get on live camera from the AEW television and then talk about post-racial Atlanta.
Absurd. But he has my boy Floyd Johnson's heart, so I guess that's worth something.
That ain't why I'm voting for him. They ain't got shit. Look, if this was 3 years ago, I'd be like, I'm sorry, not take it back. It was like, look, man, he's getting in. I have to vote for him just because he, found a father AEW. That's historical, whatever else. That last year AEW, I mean, I'm sure Flo. I'm not even going to assume Flo would be like, hey man, you why are you going so hard on my dog? He would even be like, hey man, what's going on? Why is One Nation Radio lighting Cody Rhodes ablaze every single week? I know he dreaded listening to One Nation Radio doing that go-go shit. Oh my god.
Yeah. But he's going to WWE, and he was different in a way to where he stood out head and shoulders above anybody they had. Which at the end of the day, he actually proved this show right from the old days. Who we one day said he would be at the top of this promotion.
All it took was him to leave and then start another one.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, Cody Rhodes, you made me right. That's right. Kiss the ring, because it was me who saw the vision. Me. I'm not voting for you as much as I'm voting for myself for the Hall of Fame for having the vision.
So yeah, man.
I got one more.
One more? Okay.
Going Paul Orndorff. Old guy from the 80s. Did a whole bunch of business with Hulk Hogan that just gets lost to history because it didn't culminate at WrestleMania.
I was going to ask you, how much do you think that hurt him?
A whole fucking bunch. So around the time, instead of Paul Orndorff getting a WrestleMania match, it goes to fucking King Kong Bundy. He was also in the main event of WrestleMania 1 that nobody ever talks about.
Yep.
And he was, for his time, he was a really good wrestler. Now, I think it's just been too long for him not to be in the Hall of Fame. It's like, hold on, Paul Orndorff's not in here. So that's kind of why I would vote. This would be a correction. It'd be like, nah, we got to clean this up.
Gotcha. Okay, so I agree with you on 5 of them for sure. Right? The 5 would be the Young Bucks, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Jon Moxley. So those be the 5 I agree on. Now I have 2 that differ from you. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. I know. I'm gonna hate doing it while I say it. If this motherfucker Randy Orton tricks them into another title run, like how he did in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to consider it. Now, I'm not saying that if anyone's saying fuck no, I'm not voting for Samoa's career. He was talented. He was a talented, lazy head case. I'm not doing it. I ain't gonna argue with you. I have no comments for your comments. I agree with you. I just think that the body of work is overwhelming for somebody that's been around that long. And I also have a thing for like WWE guys where it's like, he was in that era where like, you can't pull numbers out unless you're John Cena, or at this point now where you're Roman Reigns and you have your whole family, you're running an entire family tree storyline. So it's like, all right, man, if we just not gonna vote nobody from WWE in, that was a WWE lifer, then all right. But I think like we gotta kind of get off of that because they're hiding the numbers. So yeah, I would have Orton as that, and then Becky Lynch, same argument as last year. Is like she became actually for a short time somebody actually moved numbers. Somebody was actually the top star in the company that wasn't a man, and that's insane. And we're at a point where she's like a lot of guys like AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, were like they're with the company. And because Batman gone, they don't have to be on the road all the time. They can pick spots. And I think it's for the best for people to have long-term, importance as opposed to just being around, sticking around forever. So yeah,
I consider voting for her in the future, but as it stands like right now, I think I just got other people that I think I'd rather vote for now.
Gotcha.
And I say because I don't know the historical significance, so because it felt like they changed some shit, right? Like in real time, right? But now that we're like past it, right? Like the 4 horsewoman era is kind of over.
Yeah.
And we see like what they've reverted to, kind of. And it's
I'm with you. But I'm also pointing out like, all right, well, who's the person that gave Bianca Belair her big wins? It was Becky and Sasha. So, like, for me, it's like those two made somebody. Like, you can't say that about the other 2 horsewomen. They didn't make nobody. They beat people that were already really talented. No, not against them. They're great, but like, there is a certain thing to this. And like, who knows what would have happened if they hadn't done the stupid 3-way at WrestleMania 35, whatever else. But it's like, that was what people wanted to see. And the company said, absolutely the fuck not. We're throwing this one woman in here that we've wanted to be the person for since 2004 or 15 and whatever.
Yeah, so like I feel like I need a little bit more from Becky Lynch if I'm gonna throw somebody out currently that I'm thinking about.
I think honestly there's 5 locks and everything else is gonna be like you can pick and choose what you want after that, honestly.
So I think the Briscoes are going to do really well. The public ballots I'm seeing like have them ahead of the Young Bucks right now. Now that wouldn't be my case to do it, but the way I'm seeing these votes coming in, they're probably going to do very well.
That's insane. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, as far as the in-ring quality quotient of it, or portion of it, like, yeah, they're a 10 out of 10 as far as the in-ring stuff. The other part, as far as the draw stuff, there's nothing there. Honestly.
Right. Like, there's like,
and if anything there is working with who, Rich?
The Young Bucks.
Right.
But like, if this was like the Bret Hart Wrestle Score, like the Young Bucks would be like 30 of 30. Like it would be like 10, 10, 10. Historically significant business wrestling. Like that's Edge. Now, I think Edge is in that next wave, along with like Becky Lynch for me, or Randy Orton, where it's like I want to vote for other people more.
Right.
I don't know if I can quantify you.
Have another run.
Right. It's like, I don't know how to quantify your business metrics. You, like, if somebody else was in your spot, things could have been the same kind of.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you put Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn into that category, or you put them one below?
I feel like they're in the same category.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking too. That's how I feel too.
Samoa Joe.
Joe might be somebody we're just overlooking.
I think so. I think he might have a shot in the future.
Like there are probably people screaming at us like you like you oh my god, you have no idea how good Tim Duncan was. Like, oh my god, you have no idea how good Samoa Joe was. And look, bro, we love fucking Samoa Joe. He should have been the WWE champion in 2017. Should have been. Look, they fucked it up. They fucked it up.
They could have put the belt on him when they beat him. The interest in the promotion
went down.
So those are good.
Thumbs went down.
those are good arguments for him, and I'm more than willing to hear those out in the coming years.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
He is not someone that I'll write off forever.
And he did a great fucking job as transitional champion in the AEW World Championship this year.
Yeah.
He wiped the doo-doo off the belt. Actually, I can't tell you what dude. He threw that belt out, that Burberry shit, and then brought back the real. So yeah. He restored the feeling.
Oh, Matt and Jeff Hardy, I just wouldn't do it. I'm sorry. If I can't pull up a regular rules match of yours and you're a tag team that I find that is like, you know, some classic match, it always has to be some weapons match or always has to be some type of ladder match. They never really headlined too much. I don't know. I don't think I'd vote for him.
The only thing you could say is like, if you vote for the Hardys, that means you're voting for Jeff.
And you're voting for Matt too, because like
as far as like the drawing thing of like he had a real shot to be a you know, a real main event guy for the company, and they blew it up, or they both screwed it up. You know my point. Like, because like Jeff's never going to get in, so you vote for Jeff by himself's never get in, so you vote for the Hardys, and then you do the vote for Jeff as a singles act and as a tag team totality thing or whatever else. So I can see people doing that, and also like as far as influence, very influential for the next crop of guys. Or whatever else. Like, you know. Like the young Bucks aren't really that much of a thing without the Hardys. That's the thing. That's absolutely true. So I can see them getting big votes for influence.
Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, of course, they were part of the NWO and WWE, but not enough.
I don't think of them as a tag team, honestly. Even though they obviously were, but my point is like when I think of Scott Hall and I think of Kevin Nash, I think of them separately. I don't think of them as the same outside of they did change the business.
Yeah,
dummy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's absurd to say it, but at the same time, like, I watched these guys. Like, one was like, I understand they were a tag team, but it's like besides Bash to the Beach '96, points me another significant like tag team match they had, and they were tag teams a bunch of times, but they threw the fucking tag belts in the trash.
Yeah. If I had to give you some outsiders matches, they wrestled.
Let me guess, Luger and
Steiners a bunch of times. You know, I don't think there's a notable Luger and Sting versus Nash and Hall pay-per-view match. That might have just been some stuff they were doing in a Nitro.
Okay.
But they wrestled Harlem Heat for the belts. And they were more like a hot duo together throughout the summer of '96 to where they just had the motion or whatever, right?
Absolutely.
But like it's not that long a time.
Right.
Eventually, like they started splitting them up. Hall started having problems. No.
Right. Like the big dramas around like them potentially breaking up.
Look, and I am someone that is prone to give out WCW votes, but no.
Yeah.
Randy Orton for me. You know, I would have thought he would have been able to sell more than 1,500 tickets in St. Louis this year when he got added on.
That's still more than Charlotte that one time. Did Charlotte add like 400 tickets, some shit like that?
Oh, man.
There wasn't a time Roman Reigns couldn't even put in like what was that year?
It was the Garden, but this is his hometown. This is his hometown, and like literally the week before they put CM Punk in Chicago and he sold tickets or whatever, and it was the first week of the NXT show being on television. So I was like, so why did they have to move Randy Orton to the smaller building? So I don't know. I know it's a stupid anecdotal fact. I can hear Josh Smith now, but I'm like, why does this, like, if this guy is the guy that everyone tells me he is?
No. The guy that everyone tells you is WWE people telling you this guy's the best worker I've ever seen. They're fucking lying.
It's just absurd. Like I no, like.
Like, bro, like, his biggest thing is he like, skill-wise, you watch him wrestle and you're like, oh my God, he's
a bad guy, James. He is a bag guy.
He's a bag guy?
And what is the goal, James? It's not the bag. It's to put the ball in the hole. He doesn't put the ball in the hole, James.
Okay, I get what you mean now. I was like, wait, a bad guy? Like, at first he said bad guy. Like, are you about to talk about like him shitting that bag that one time? But yeah, he is absolutely bad guy. Like the skills compared to like, hey man, wins and losses. He's definitely in that category. He's definitely in that category. He's like, bro, fuck them skills. How good are the matches?
This was always the argument that I had that I was never able to articulate until recently.
Until basketball finally figured out, was like, man, he can do this or that. Cool. Does he make it easier for your team to stop or put the ball in the basket? Does he make your team get easier shots and make the other team have harder shots? Yes or no?
Right. So
tween cross. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
I like seeing that stuff too, but when it don't go in, who gives a fuck?
Trish Stratus, never in my life would I vote for her.
Not a thing. Not a thing. I know another one is immediate write-off. R.I.P.
Bray Wyatt.
Absolutely not a chance. Hey.
Never in my life.
Pull up the clip. We did it. I mean, look, posthumously won worst match.
This man has won worst match of the year or worst feud in the Observer so many times. Like, I don't know if this is ironic by like listening to him on here. Like, is this on the up and up?
He's on there because he sold a lot of merchandise. He's very popular. He during the influential stuff, he did move some quarter hours. Whatever. But he's one of the worst wrestlers I've ever seen.
Yeah. Rest in peace. But Rick and Scott Steiner.
No, against him. I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm not trying to speak on the dead. I'm talking about what you did when he was there. Like, look, the job is the job. The objective is the objective. He failed the objective over and over again.
I would be betraying the integrity and the history of this show if I turned around today and said I think this is a Hall of Fame wrestler.
Rich, you just talked about a radio right? Bad guy. This is not part of the bag. Super charismatic, great promo, bell ring, nothing there. Bad feud after bad feud. Only person that ever got any benefit from him working with anybody was himself.
Yeah.
Has some of the worst matches of all time. Bad guy. What's the objective?
Can't disagree.
He ruined Seth Rollins and babyface for you ever.
He ruined Seth Rollins' career for me.
Oh, there you go. You went a step further. There you go. You go.
Rick and Scott Steiner, unfortunately, no. I love them as a team. I know a lot of people will vote for the Steiners, but they're gonna have to wait.
They'll do well with like the current crop of wrestlers and the old timers as far as influence, but there's somebody I'll be willing to look over. Like, I'm sure Josh will give me some retrospective to give you or give us a better idea. Because
they fucking rule.
Yeah, like, that sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah,
they were one of those I think they were my favorite tag team growing up, honestly. But yeah, man, I think also a lot of stuff is like, they did so much stuff, other places, in Japan and everything. So like that,
they're never really in one
whenever
spot.
They wanted to. Like, I think they were caught in that era where it's like, if they had showed up 5 years earlier, they'd be in. If they showed up 5 years later, they might still be in. I think they got in that spot where it's like, they're really talented, but WCW is a fucking mess. Jim Herd fucked them up. Like he fucked up everything else, but you know my point.
Jimmy and Jay Uso.
You know what I was surprised when I looked at today, or the other day? I went to look for, over the weekend, I was talking to one of my friends at the gym that watches wrestling, and she was like, "I can never tell the Usos apart," and I was like, a lot of people are like that. I get it, but I can tell them apart because one of them's good, and another one I'm just violently jealous of, right? So then I was like, because she knows we do the show, so I was like, let me see if I can send a clip of when we fucking killed Yeetism. We didn't clip up Yeetism.
Oh no,
I was disappointed. That would have did numbers. Oh man, because that shit was sad. That's one of the worst well-built matches ever. And yeah, man. So after that, nah, man. Look, I'm not gonna write them off forever because they had the opportunity to. They're about to tag team again, and we'll judge them as a tag team. But separately, absolutely the fuck not. They still got some time though, and they've been involved in the gigantic storyline, so that's definitely gonna benefit them. Like if they do the bloodline, like the whole thing for months. So we'll see where it goes.
It's a note
because GOD's a good ass tag team. And Jake 2's gonna be out there. I think they're gonna try to not have the trios match, and it's not be like the nonsense stinkers. They've been doing these Samoans pay-per-view main events. It's gonna be like them trying to have a real match.
So it's a no for me right now.
Yeah, same.
I'm kicking them down the road and be like, all right, I need to see how the bloodline thing wraps up kind of as a staff, record label, and crew if it ever does, and then we can properly evaluate their role in it.
Yeah.
And then we've got, the rest of their career, which, we all know the story on it. Sideline. Yeah. Like, so, and Sid Vicious.
No. Go, I know you finna go, hold on. Before you go and say what you want to say, preface it by being like, it's no. At least be like, it's no, but.
Yeah, it's no, but
okay,
this motherfucker rules.
Yes,
he's the master of the rule of the world.
Yes, Hall of Awesome, not Hall of Fame. Yes,
and then it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn as individuals.
Yeah.
I want to kick him down the road. I'm too much of a coward to put him on now.
Yeah.
I need to see how their careers keep playing out.
Right. Look, bro, there's another evil motherfucker heel run out of Kevin Owens is there. There's another one. And it's gonna be spectacular when it happens.
So those are my thoughts and our thoughts on the Observer Hall of Fame. Did we say Asuka?
We didn't really talk about it because we know that's not gonna be a thing.
Yeah. No. And she's on as a US candidate, so like
she's on as a U.S. candidate. She has a decorated career, but they never push her. They never push her like they pushed the Horsewoman, or Alexa Bliss, or Carmella, or any other sorry white woman. So yeah, it's a thing, right? Like,
they beat her in every big spot possible.
Right. I think she's never won at WrestleMania. I think that's still the case. I think she still has not won. I think she's now the reverse Undertaker now. She has taken that from the mantle from Big Show. So yeah, there's that.
Yikes. So I guess we should move on. We'll talk about AEW Dynamite here. I remember overall thinking I didn't really enjoy.
Hold on. Sorry. Got to look at the notes. Got to look in the show chat. Do you see that?
So I can't wait until Britt Baker gets eligible. Eligible for what?
To be put on this list for the U.S. Hall of Fame.
I mean, she might get put on it one day.
She'll be put on and she'll be quickly removed.
Yeah, no way she gets 10%.
No.
Like first woman ever signed to AEW. Should I make the flimsiest case possible?
Yeah. Go ahead and try to prop up this bullshit for you, girl. Go ahead.
So Britt Baker, the first woman ever signed as a wrestler to AEW, kind of says, she was the first person they invested in, kind of a big star from the beginning. Had a long title reign with the belt, would turn herself into a quarter-hour draw. All those Britsburg shows, she sold some tickets to the arena. She participated in the first main event for women in AEW twice, I want to say. The first main event for Rampage was Britt Baker with the Britsburg stuff. Huge matches at All In both years that they've done it in London. First woman signed to the promotion, had a unit around her. She is. Nope, she has not won the second championship yet. But yeah, when it's all said and done, when it came to women in AEW, she was
she was one of them. Yes,
I would say there was she's the only one of them to ever become a top 10 star in the promotion. So prior to how you feel about Mercedes, and I don't know, how to feel about Mercedes sometimes.
So, Rich, guess what I'm looking at right now?
What you looking at?
I'm looking at Britt Baker's cage match.
I didn't bring none of that up.
I know you did.
That wasn't part. That wasn't part of the argument.
Hey, it's my time. It's my time.
That wasn't part of the argument.
I know it's not. I'm getting prepared for whatever she gets on the thing. Now, I'm looking at this thing, and I seem to see that I see more ones than eights.
Ones?
I see more ones than eights, Rich.
That's crazy.
Not really. I lived through it. That's accurate. Yeah, man.
Can you name the matches?
Okay. The 1-8 match she has is the Thunder Rosa match, the lights out match, right?
Okay.
So death match.
Classic.
Yeah. So then I'm looking at the ones. Big Swole versus Britt Baker tooth and nail match.
Not good.
Match below that, worse. Lower rated by half a point. Britt Baker and Rebel versus Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero.
Okay.
Brother.
I believe I recall that one.
I remember both of the matches vividly. Those are some of the worst matches.
Memorable. Memorable.
Some of the worst matches.
Memorable. You remember where you were?
No, not that kind of memorable. No, not that kind of memorable. No. But man. Whew. So what's she doing now? What is Britt doing? She did the promo in Pittsburgh. Who is she angling with now?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Well then, are you glad they brought her back this summer?
I have no idea.
They have a nothing match with Mercedes and Wembley.
Oh yeah, she was supposed to be part of that. She was supposed to fight Willow. We ain't seen her since.
Oh yeah. It was an injury, right?
Sickness, illness.
Okay, yeah. Sickness.
So, hopefully everything's all right.
Yeah. Hopefully everything's all right, and when she comes back, that match will be waiting for her.
Let's see. So, AEW Dynamite this week. I don't recall loving much.
Just wondering, is anybody asking her while she's there, while she's not on TV? Is she showing the TVs? Is that happening? Are people making sure that she's at her? Is she making sure that she's at her TVs while not being on TV? As if it fucking matters.
I saw her release a video on Twitter that people promptly mocked.
What was the video? What happened?
She was basically saying that she had strep throat. And then she was talking. I swear to God, it exists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I've had strep throat before, so it does suck, but it's contagious. So I'll say that. So it might be best that don't do that yet. But once that's taken care of, can't wait to see you back wrestling Willow Nightingale.
Couple latest shoulders. So AEW Dynamite this week. Like I said, didn't really recall loving this show a bunch. This was a lot of setting chess pieces in motion.
There was, you want to call it?
I guess.
It's a lot of putting the heroes' dicks in the dirt. That's what. Bro, they smart the hell out of the whole Crow Bay thing, bro. It felt like I was watching. Look, it was on Turner, right? It felt like the NWI smarted the whole WCW locker room. All of them. Yeah. All them idiots. They gonna see out there all night getting bit by mosquitoes.
It's out there freezing. Just out there swinging nunchucks around.
You waiting for us to show up? We already in the building, fools.
Like, we coming up under you. Like, so Dynamite came on the air. Footage of the BCC standing tall at Wrestle Dream with Moxley questioning. Hold on, I got the right one. Yeah. Questioning what the new paradigm is in AEW. They all work for him now. They were running rampant. They showed the Elite turn their backs to all the carnage last week. Moxley said, imagine what they could all become. As tonight, a little piece of someone will be destroyed for the greater good. Moxley jumps in the back of the pickup truck with the rest of the crew in the desert and drives off. Then they cut to the parking lot, and the BCC, they were waiting for the BCC to arrive, and it was the conglomeration, Top Flight, Action Andretti, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, The Butcher, and Dark Order. Now, I see Jeff Jarrett out there. I'm like, why ain't Jeff Jarrett warning these young wrestlers this don't never work? Like, this don't never end the right way, like waiting for somebody to pull up like this. Like, Jeff, you supposed to be had a wisdom.
He's concussed. Because Heyman been whooping on his ass so much, he don't know. He just like, I can't be inside the building. My head rings every time I'm inside the building. The crowd starts yelling. Gotta be outside until my head feels better. Now, why did I give him a West Virginia accent instead of a Tennessee one? I don't know, man. I'm not good with the Southern accents. Whatever. Bear with me. Right? But you get my point. Man, look. Ding, ding, dong. Ding, 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 ding. Man, head ringing out there. So, yeah. I'm okay with it.
So, Shivani
also, put him out there with the rest of the, job squad. Put him out there. Not important. Put him out there.
So they introduce Tony Schiavone is in there, and something has tragically gone wrong because Hangman Page is out in the first segment. Didn't know they did those kind of things. He came out to address what happened last week in the main event. I'm glad he did because I just tuned out. Schiavone brought up Page losing to Jay White at Wrestle Dream and costing him the match with Christian. Page basically snatched a mic, mentioned dropping White with a switchblade, or dropping him with a buckshot, nearly ending Juice Robinson's career and beating Austin Gunn so badly he can't remember his brother's name. And then all of a sudden, Colton Gunn tried to jump zone Hangman.
Nope.
That ain't work out.
The way
for the
you
best.
want it, it's the other way.
yeah, that ain't work out for the best. His Hangman probably whooped his ass, and then brought him back in the ring. He took off the belt and was about to start going to work until White and Robinson made the save.
Yep.
So this heel was going 1-on-3 out here
as the babyface were trying to shield the ring by doing a shield job on the ring by catch him on all angles, which is insane to say, but they were trying to get in there and get to him, and he was like, "Nope, I'm out of here."
Yep. White said he can hobble away, but he has Page's number. The banner reads All Elite Wrestling, but Page can cover up his shortcomings with blood, barbed wire, and fire as much as he pleases. When the bell rings, he'll never measure up to the switchblade. So yes, even as a babyface, Jay White lying his ass off.
Yeah.
Said they haven't seen the last of each other, so Page can ice his leg. They're going to see each other real soon.
Yeah.
So up next, we got Shelton Benjamin taking on Sammy Guevara. And this was an excellent showing for Shelton Benjamin. Again, 2 for 2 in the promotion. I like the Leo Rush match a little bit better, but I thought Sammy was awesome in this too. And, do I have to do the Sammy Guevara rant? This guy's fucking awesome. I don't know why people hate the man's guts this badly, where it is like they don't even want to see him on the screen or whatever, but whatever. Guy's awesome, and he made Shelton Benjamin look awesome. And I don't know, what'd you think of Shelton?
Good match. Obviously, this was meant to get people more aware of or into Shelton Benjamin. I think they did an okay job. A lot of it was obviously the superior in-ring worker in his match is Sammy Guevara, but Guevara's out here, doing a million things for him to make the dude look good. So, mission accomplished. But we'll see next week. Right? Or this week, actually.
It's this week.
Swerve, right?
So Swerve versus Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
That should be interesting.
It'd be nice to have the best person on, like the best person like doing TV for the last few months back on TV after being on hiatus. It's real nice. It'd also be nice if, you know, when Ospreay showed the fuck back up. Yeah, like that's been a part of like why this has been weird. The last couple weeks is like the guys that have been carrying the show are on the show because they're selling injuries.
Yeah, so it'll be Swerve's first match since the cage match. So it'll be interesting to see which way this one goes. So Renee then approached Mariah May, who walked out of the locker room with a suitcase. She threw that shit. She said it was Anna Jay's, and she opened it and tossed it down the hallway. She said Anna Jay doesn't belong in the same ring as her, let alone the locker room. Anna Jay ran in. They started brawling, and then CD was there to break it up.
Mariah said, "Not in my locker room." It popped me when she threw so much shit out of the locker room. It was like, oh, she's stealing someone else's gimmick backstage. Oh, we can move on.
So, up next, we had Kyle Fletcher out to explain his actions. And man, I gotta say, I was really impressed with Kyle Fletcher here. I thought, you know, the promo was a little long, but it needed to be because he needed to set this stuff up, and you know, he got the time to really kind of express himself and what people may have felt about him, what he wanted the narrative to be, and then it all kind of concluded with him radically changing his look and shaving his own head. At first, I was like, "You fool!" I was like, "Don't shave your head. Lose it in a hair versus hair match and make $1 off of this shit or something." Like, but unfortunately, no one smartened him up at first. But basically, he said, you know, fans can boo all they want. The only person he's here to talk about is Will. It's been 11 days since Ospreay lost the international title, hobbled up in a hospital due to the herniated disc he doesn't tell anybody about. Fletcher said the idiot fans are just as much to blame as Ospreay, as they said he was the next big thing with the brightest future in pro wrestling. Then Ospreay showed up and they started calling Fletcher the next Will Ospreay. He said the inbred Americans said Fletcher looked, sounded, and wrestled like Ospreay, which he took as an insult, as he's better than him in every single way. Erroneous cap. Back in 2021, when Fletcher joined the United Empire, Ospreay was the king with a killer instinct. Crowd chants for him to start wrapping it up. Fletcher reminds them that Don Callis has bought all the TV time that he wants, so they're going to listen to him. I thought that was a nice kind of flip.
Yep.
Fletcher brings up Okada bringing Ospreay to New Japan, but what did he do? He stabbed Okada in the back. He brought up Kenny Omega leaving New Japan and Ospreay stepping up as the biggest foreigner there. Once fans started comparing Ospreay to Omega, Ospreay did what Fletcher did. He used a screwdriver to prove his point. It's the lesson that Ospreay taught Fletcher. Don Callis made Fletcher realize that Ospreay never wanted him to realize his potential, as that's the person Ospreay is, selfish. He'll give Ospreay one chance to save face next week, ignoring doctor's orders, meeting him in the ring before sending him back to the hospital much longer than 11 days with a tiger driver after tiger driver after wrestling move after wrestling move after wrestling move. Fletcher said he's going to stand tall as the proto star. He's going to be nothing like Will Ospreay. And then Callis hands Fletcher a electric razor, and he screams, "I'm nothing like you." And he goes like into some just, I feel like this is out of a movie somewhere. "I'm not like you." And he cuts his hair bald. Like, it was some real psychotic type shit. This was excellent. Now that I think about it,
I thought this was excellent, and I thought that the crowd gave him shit the same way they give Callis shit, where it's like, we're not giving you shit because you're awful or boring. We're giving you shit because you actually have heat. So, and he played into it when you talked about how I bought the TV time. So it was great. And like by the end of this, I was like, if this man had ever saw a clip of this dude and saw that he was 6'4", he would offer him $1 million on the spot per year. Like, sight unseen. That's what he wants. He wants somebody to be fucking psycho, a character. That's a real character. Or not a real character, you might put it like, that's a character. That's somebody that you can't say, at this point now, before when we saw Kyle Fletcher in AEW over time, aside from, away from Will Ospreay, you could be like, he doesn't have much of a character. after this promo, because of his hate for Ospreay, you actually have to feel some way about him one way or the other. I thought this was great. Obviously, their match can be fucking awesome. They already had an awesome match earlier this year. But yeah, man, like, I think right now AEW's at a point where like they need without Ospreay and Swerve on TV, they're hurting for baby faces right now. But the program with Ospreay is going to be great for Fletcher. And he could do some damage on the heel side. I think he can move up. I think he can move up faster this way, honestly, as opposed to he's going to have to be in comparison to,
so you get to wrestle him.
He get to wrestle him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they love to wrestle him too. So, and have programs with him, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
So we got footage of Konosuke Takeshita defending the international title at Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling against Josh Alexander. Mm-hmm. They showed Ricochet making the save there, so TK getting his angles off and just taking out Takeshita with a dive. We went to Renee Paquette. She was backstage with Ricochet. Said he's a man of his word, saying he showed up anywhere to get his hands on Takeshita. He said he was not pinned by him, so he was screwed out of the belt twice by Takeshita. So he challenged him to show up on Rampage, prove that he's out of this world. MVP then walks in, saying, "Hey man, new company, new beginnings." He said, "I like your suit," and he gave him the business card, and that would be funny if Ricochet joined the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah. There's gonna be some movement between, because like all the factions right now are all heel factions, or the top factions. They're getting ones that getting TV time. Like between New BCC, the Elite, Hurt Syndicate, like the Collaboration, like the only like babyface like stable going on that's like really on TV right now. So like there gonna be some moves going on, and like I'm interested to see like with what's going on with Leo Rush and Top Flight. What's going on.
They're having turmoil.
Right, having turmoil. The fate of Private Party.
The New York Boys.
Yeah. Garcia along with that trio is like, there are going to be some people, like, looks like they're going to be, like, Her Syndicate seems set up to grab some of these people potentially. So, I'm interested to see where it goes, and, they have the heels in place in the factions for programs, all that kind of stuff. The issue is with Swerve and Ospreay off TV. We obviously Swerve immediately goes into Hurt Syndicate. Ospreay goes to Callus, but it's like Callus another one of the factions as well. It's like you got that down pat. Now we need the baby faces to come in here that can actually fight these guys. And I guess it's gonna be Orange Cassidy and Garcia.
I think the Elite are setting up to turn face.
I can see that. We talked about that last week, right?
Yeah.
It seems potentially there. It's there. I see it. I can see it there, but it's interesting to see where it will go as far as like the Kenny Omega domino dropping whenever it drops, as far as that kind of thing.
Because you would think that's like 3 months out minimum, or 2 months out, at least whatever the dome is. After that, you can probably factor him in, but who knows?
And it's also like, maybe they don't go through it again, but it's like, if you do that, it's like you're going to do Elite versus BCC again. You did that a lot in 2024 or 22. A lot.
Yeah. A lot. Only thing is, they did not do a lot of the singles matches that everybody wanted. So,
okay.
After that, they had Brian Cage and Lance Archer as a team, and they won a squash match. My God, what a team! Yep.
Callus, right? Callus squad,
yeah,
right?
bro, that Callus squad is fucking vicious.
That's what I mean. Like, who are these supposed to beat? They're supposed to beat up Claudio and Moxley, Impact. They're supposed to beat up like Takeshita, Fletcher, Cage, and Lance Archer.
Your babyfaces have no chance. Then the AEW crew is still waiting in the parking lot for the BCC. Chuck Taylor walks up, of Tunnel Talk fame, and he tells the conglomeration that Briscoe's match is next. Chuck Taylor then stops Orange Cassidy and brings up Living Together until AEW came along. Pretty much what it seemed like this last words essentially to him. He said he doesn't know what it takes to, or he doesn't know who has what it takes to stand up to the BCC, but he knows that Cassidy does because he's beat that guy before. It's about time that you show it. They walk off together. Excalibur said that was tough love from Chuck Taylor, who is a backstage producer now. And, you know, he said his career is over and he's somebody else trying to make Orange Cassidy realize he can be, you know, the man, essentially. After that.
So, we're not going to talk about the fit?
Who's fit?
Chuck Taylor's fit.
I mean, you know, he's dressed like anybody else that ever produced matches and wears a headset.
I thought he looked like a manager, a Checkers drive-through manager.
Oh, man. I mean, they wear all black too, right?
Exactly. Right? Like, hey, man. You ever seen the meme of Rick Ross talking about telling somebody, hey, man, go down to Checker and get me some big Bufords, right?
Yeah.
Like, Buddy go down to get the big Bufords, and he go see Chuck Taylor out there with the headset on. Ask him why these fries ain't up. Fries supposed to be up 2 minutes ago. This was fucking fantastic. Look, I'm not saying that Chuck Taylor was working the fries. He was saying the person working the fries supposed to have the fries up by now. Yeah. You making the line longer. Hurry up.
So up next we had
Chuck Taylor is sick of this kid's shit. Anyway.
Yeah. So up next we had Chris Jericho versus Mark Briscoe in a ladder war for the Ring of Honor World Championship. And James, he's done it again.
Oh my God.
He's done it again.
Bro, I don't think there's anybody that keeps succeeding in spite of people's best efforts to get him off their fucking TV. When's the last time someone was this good or keep succeeding like this, keep having good matches on their own merit while people want him off TV like he's washed? It's hilarious, bro.
Bro, he will not stop. I will not stop. We are going until the end. You hear me? The end. Chris Jericho forever. I don't give a fuck. I watched these niggas cheer Keiji Muto to the end. I'm gonna do the same thing.
He's not nearly as bad as Keiji Muto was at the end.
Chris Jericho gonna restore some prestige to the ROH Championship.
There's no way they. God damn it!
Look! One of the great ROH champions in history has the belt back. You know,
nasty.
Everyone also has put out all this cope saying, well, maybe he's going to build up Ring Honor. No, he's not building up Ring Honor. He's building up Chris Jericho. No, what y'all think this is? He's going to Honor Club? No.
Oh,
this is Jericho. You know, worked himself, you know, back into the spot.
Do you think that this is his way to put over Sammy Guevara in the long run? Something that has to happen to ROH, and then no one will ever see it.
Oh my God, that would be something.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
This match was really fun, and
yes.
a lot of this shit in this match looked like it hurt. Yeah. Like Jericho took one fall. He fell on the back of his shit.
Yeah, I thought. Look.
Last bump.
Yeah, I was like, hey, he might be out cold.
Bro. Look, there's nobody that does this game better than Chris Jericho. I don't know who needs to hear it. Never count him out. You think somebody else is getting over? He's the one getting over, brother. Like, I don't... y'all better catch up. You know?
So moving forward from this, like for Mark Briscoe, do you think they do a rematch, or do you think like he moves on and like it's trios time?
So I think Mark Briscoe was actually losing up here. I think he's right in line and to be put in front of Moxley. He didn't get pinned.
Yeah.
They swapped his belt off of him.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be looking at a Moxley match, and I think he's a great opponent.
So you think he's a setup guy for the feud between him and Orange Cassidy, as in collaboration stuff?
possibly.
Okay, because I thought that I was thinking like maybe that's O'Reilly or something, but
yeah, I think him and Mox will have a pretty good match. Like I think their styles will complement each other out well.
Oh, you think the Terry Funkism will work out pretty well? I do too.
Yep. After that, Tomohiro Ishii comes out.
Yes.
After Big Bill lifts Jericho up to the belt.
Can we talk about Big Bill, his interference where he pulled, I don't remember if he pulled him but basically he choke slammed Mark Briscoe over the top rope through tables that were on the floor.
Yes.
That's a real nigga bump there, boy.
Yeah.
You get Yoshi card forever for that one. Obviously, Miss Mark Briscoe, that's already been established for with his crazy shit he's done in his career, but it's like, in case you forgot, here's another one.
I'm here.
Yeah, here's another one.
But Tomohiro Ishii comes out and you see Jericho already. He's like, look, give me somebody that I can have another great match with.
Is he gonna blade the chest again?
Why not? Worked last time. I was like, what is Tomohiro Ishii doing here at random? So, you notice Ishii wasn't out in that parking lot. Like, he knows. He's like, hold on, go what? Stand where? That doesn't make any sense. The ring is that way. Like,
yeah,
that's where I fight. The ring.
Yeah.
Oh. The Undisputed Kingdom called out MJF. And Adam Cole, after being alone for 1 week, that he couldn't let him stand on his own for more than 1 week. They were like, you know what? We put you back in a group, or y'all doing. Look, I care nothing about what MJF, Adam Cole, and by extension, this whole group is doing. I almost want to skip recapping this every week.
Bro, it's as backwards, it's every bit as backwards, probably even more backwards than what they're doing with Hangman in the Gun Club. You have a lone heel versus a group of former heels, now baby faces, haven't earned anything to be baby faces or whatever else, fighting for a common cause to beat up this heel. And it's like, you're all evil. I don't give a fuck. And now the guy that's actually evil in his program you're supposed to boo is the one outnumbered. What?
What the fuck is this? A 20v1 nigga? Like,
yeah, man. Like, it also is playing heavily on ROH lore, you know? With Bennett and Taven. So it's like, all right, man.
It's like, good thing we got Chris Jericho to hold that belt, Then we got a video package. The returning Penelope Ford is explaining why she jumped Jamie Hayter a couple weeks ago, which was just a shock out of nowhere. Hayter teamed up with Ford in her last match 2 years ago, but she's back to remind her who the hell she is. Renee was backstage with Jamie Hayter, who says she's listened to everything Ford said. It's all BS. Jamie Hayter said she slept on floors, had a minus in her bank account, wrestling in front of 20 drunk men for 25 quid or 20 quid, which I found out was like around $25.
Well, 20 quid and pounds are interchangeable. You didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I was like, at first I was like, what the fuck is quid? Like, so,
it sounds like it does sound like some shit that the Harry Potter characters would have called money.
Right.
Yeah.
Quidditch. Hater says she'll make Ford a victim of her return. And
I'll be quiet before your wife gets home about talking about Harry Potter like that. I'll stop.
She issued a challenge for 2 weeks out, so look at them booking in advance.
Yeah.
The House of
look, it feels like there was something that Jamie Hayter was supposed to do involving Britt, and like it went up in smoke, and they just trying to figure out how to keep her on TV by feeding her people. So whatever. I would like to see.
You think so? Because I look at it, I look at the belts. I'm like, well, she's not going to challenge either of these champions right now.
I think it's been changed. I think they were headed to, or they wanted to do something between Britt and Jamie as far as them like either become reuniting or want to make a save for each other, and then it didn't happen. And now this is like, all right, now let's.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Now we out here, treading water. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but it's like there's no reason why they didn't go straight to the storyline especially with Mariah, because she's in there with fucking Anna Jay. It's like it should be champion that never lost her belt trying to challenge the current champion. It's the easiest fucking story in the world.
Well, that would be like, all right, I look at it like this. Mariah May is not dropping that belt until at least Australia, right?
All right,
so
cool.
If you're going to have anyone challenge her, they're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
And then you got to kind of find a way to beat Jamie Hayter, because what tends to happen in this promotion is they get either by hook or crook, somebody does not want to lose somebody. I know nothing. I'm not saying Jamie Hayter does not want to lose Mariah May. I think this is probably, them trying to protect everybody. But like, yeah, we're not going to beat you so soon in your comeback, even though they've shown no qualms about doing this before.
Well, my point is, what the fuck you brought her back for? I mean, what have they done with her to make sense other than she's looking impressive beating the fuck out of people? Like, it makes those, what do you bring her back for?
There's no spot for her right now.
Make a spot. Remember Smokey and his mom on Friday? He's like, oh, this ain't enough. Make it enough. Make a spot. You brought her back. It's your job. You did it, Booker man.
Look, they've got Statlander going after Mercedes now, and she's going through Camille to get there. And we'll get to Camille in a second.
Are you so glad that they decided to turn Statlander babyface on a whim as opposed to just feed Jamie to Mercedes if you needed to?
I don't think that was going to happen.
It's worse though. At least it's like, all right, she just came back. You can give her the New Japan lost first big match, return from injury. She has to build back up as a storyline. He's still a babyface, right? Statlander is in a long-term feud with Willow, and we need a champ. We need someone to feed to Mercedes, turn her babyface for no fucking reason.
This is the same company where people were upset about interim belts. So,
but it's not even an interim thing. It's like send her towards the other belt for now.
Yeah. Either way, I don't know why. It seems like they've got your title feud, that's Mariah and Anna Jay, which is really just a television program because that's getting blown off, I don't know, this week or next week on Collision.
Who do you think her opponent's going to be on at Full Gear? That's in, the 23rd?
No reason it couldn't be Jamie then.
Okay.
I mean, they had Willow lose to Mariah, which Willow will, God bless her heart, will lose to damn near anybody, it looks like. But, another babyface getting murdered. So, more heels running wild over this place. And then we got a squash match featuring the House of Black. And immediately I was like, what is this for? This never leads to anything. House Black won.
They did a trio squash match where they gave Buddy Murphy the win so that he can challenge Adam Cole to a singles match.
I was like,
just send out Buddy Murphy to kill one guy and then do it. Why do you need to bring out the other three guys? Because there are trios titles in this company, and they're former trios champions, and we don't know exactly who's going to be facing Pac and Yuta and Claudio upcoming. It will behoove you to actually build contenders for the belt as opposed to build up a trios, former trios championship, gets an easy win, and then they use it for that. Just have Buddy Matthews murder a guy. I didn't get it.
I didn't either. And then they did this stare down between Buddy Matthews and Adam Cole, and I was like,
who you picking to the fight? It's one of those who you picking to the fight?
That would not go well for Adam Cole.
I'm picking Adam Cole. This he finna take a muscle bound man and put his face in his head because he's bad like LL Cool J. That is what's finna happen.
So MJF.
Why they ain't ask Malachi to no? But Malachi, look, brother, we already had the match. We had that match in 2018. No rematches.
Look,
no backsies. It's over.
Look, I noticed who didn't issue the challenge.
Yeah.
This guy is amazing, bro. How long will it be until he does a job somewhere?
I don't know, man. But look, what I want to find out was it a singles match or was it boosted up to a trios? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Up next, we had Camille versus Queen Eminata.
Oh my fucking god. Starting to hate this show. Now I'm going through this show. I'm starting to remember I didn't like this show.
Eminata looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Camille did not.
Yeah. Again. Actually, again, every single time.
The wrong people are getting pushed in this promotion. At least in this case. There was no way in hell Camille was losing because she's obviously set up for Statlander.
Yeah.
Next week. Kind of. I thought Camille looked really bad, and I think she did a lot to make a lot of people look foolish for their judgments of her.
To hire her?
Not to hire her, because I mean she can be employed, whatever. I don't care about that. But it's like speaking on how good she is.
Oh,
I think that's a whole different. I think that's a whole different debate.
Especially in comparison to that person. They're like, hey, this stinks, but she's good, brother. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. We watch different things. We were watching different things.
I don't know if she was rusty or whatever, but it seemed like she was like just falling in weird ways.
Is she not allowed in the ring? Is she not allowed to wrestle anywhere else on Earth off screen? Is she banned from pro wrestling, like not on television or something?
This was rough. This was like
stinks.
I was not a fan.
Stinks.
Let's just say that. They probably can do better.
Now, I'll say this. At least she hasn't left her feet without them wanting her to leave her feet yet. Remember early Braun Strowman?
Yes. Ironically.
She's not doing that. Like, you're big enough to leave your feet and then you get up on your knees falling and shit. At least she ain't doing that yet. Yet. So, we'll see.
So Monet walked in and she celebrated with Camille. And so Chris Statlander came out with the bat bra on, which was an interesting look. And she came to the ring for a face-off ahead of their match next week. James, Chris Statlander should squash her.
That'd be the most effective way to have a match between her and Camille. Like, bro, there's like, remember when Rhea was in NXT was having a match at the beginning of 2020 with Raquel Gonzalez?
Yeah, that was 2020. It
was going into the pandemic, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Like,
man.
Like they had a last woman standing match that was actually fucking great. I think I gave 4.5 stars, right?
I remember. Yeah,
bro. I mean, and they remember that NXT, like, it was EO still there and Bianca was like leaving it, right? Like, so there were people there for Raquel to have matches with. She could be carried to a match. There's more talent, women's talent in AEW than there's ever been. I don't know who's going to be I don't know who could carry Camille at this point. Who in that company could carry Camille? After watch what you just watched. Who?
I mean, I would think the only person would be the person she's affiliated with, but like she seems to like that. I don't know if Mercedes would be up for it in 2024. Who else? Emi Sakura, Riho.
But yeah, my point is like she looks like she should not be on TV. Like forget. She doesn't like she should be on TV. And she's a heater for the highest paid woman in the company.
This should be a squash next week. And then Mercedes should fire her. If Statlander
gets anything out of her outside of a squash, then like she walked on water.
So from there, a car arrived to the arena, and all the AEW guys it's dark outside now, so they out there still. They ain't eat nothing. Like they probably still all musky out there. It was probably warm wherever they was at. But it's the patriarchy, not the BCC. So Christian Cage tells them all to back off until he sees Kip Sabian trying to sneak away. But then Cage, Nick and Shayna Wayne all chase Sabian to the ring. Hook is backstage, and immediately I'm on this show. I was like, I wonder what happened to Hook. I was like, wasn't he supposed to address the attacker? And then it happens right away. Hook is backstage, and Renee asks if he knows who attacked his father. He said the scumbag's in the ring right now. Commentary is wondering who did it. Hook came to the ring. He was about to attack Christian, and then Kip Sabian gave him a low blow. So James, after fucking months and months of them fucking with him and him having matches with Nick Wayne and stopping Christian Cage from cashing the thing in, he just joins the group like we didn't see any of this shit ever happen. At this point, I wanted to throw something at the wall. I thought this was so fucking dumb, and then it was all set up for Hook to be handcuffed to another fucking old man. What are we doing?
I want Hook and Kip Sabian off my TV screen. They do nothing for the program. I want Christian to be... I mean, obviously, it got fucked up with whatever's happening with Kill Switch. I understand that. That happens. But, like, going into it, Hook needs to be off TV. We just saw him get Jericho under. We just saw it. Right? Like, unless you were going to put him with Jack Perry, I don't want to see it. That's the only successful program he's ever had.
Amazing. Yeah, man. Remember when we were talking about Hook in comparison to Nick Wayne a couple weeks ago?
It's infuriating.
Bro, I feel like someone like put them together like just to fuck with us. To fuck with us.
Right. I remember saying like, bro, Nick Wayne is about to job to Hook. You were like, Nick Wayne. I don't even know if that's possible because Nick Wayne isn't even a wrestler anymore. He's a
like Nick Wayne is a non-wrestler.
He's a guy. He's a manager. I was like, fuck. You're right. I hate this. I fucking hate this.
They did book Nick Wayne versus Ricochet for Rampage. After
he gets to wrestle another one of his daddies. Great.
Yo,
Rampage. I'll watch that. that.
So yeah, now Kip Sabian's in the group, so he has. All right.
Who gives a fuck? Is this so like this is the person supposed to do the jobs that like that Nick Wayne should be taking? They shouldn't have been taken to begin with. You're a little late on that,
brother. Daniel Garcia and Private Party then took on the Elite of Jack Perry and Matt and Nick. This is a fun match. They could have gone way crazier, but they didn't. Yeah. Garcia and Private Party got the win. But the whole thing was about this. It was like a party match. Private Party basically set a stip for the rematch next week. And they said, they want the title match. And they basically said, if they do not win, they are going to break up forever as a team. And I'm here to tell you, James, I think next week is Private Party's last week together.
Is because of Quinn's reaction to it?
There is like one guy that seems to be really confident standing on it. The other one doesn't. And Stokely Hathaway is lurking around them. I feel like one of those guys is going with Stokely and the other one is not. And they're turn on each other and the Bucks are just going to pick up the easy win. And then it's going to be like, wow, y'all have stolen more baby faces from us.
Forget that. That's true. Also, the part was they just put Daniel Garcia on screen with these fucking guys, with his friends.
Yes.
And people know about them being friends like this. And now you finna fuck.
That's my prediction. I could be wrong.
I hope they fucking win. Can we get a happy moment on this fucking show?
Look, I'd have them win, but I think they're thinking about this too hard.
In the last 20 years of pro wrestling, got fucking choked by his mentee out the business. Can we please have a happy moment since the follow that? We haven't had one in 2 weeks. Fuck.
So, after that, the BCC finally got to the arena.
Now here's the NWO. Fuck. And now the Top Heel Fashion finally shows up for the show. Oh my God, Rich! What has happened to what happened to AEW?
Bro. So backstage, the truck arrives, but it's just Marina Shafir by herself, and it was a diversion. Look, you asked me, they should have sparked her. They should have fired on her. Why not? Look, a couple of them owe her something from these previous weeks, but you know, just can't do that.
She's gonna do a big one of one of these matches eventually. You'll see.
Yeah. And then there was a ruse. Pat, Claudio, Wheeler all attacked Garcia in private party with chairs. John Moxley came out wearing all black, dressed like a production man, dragged Chuck Taylor down the ramp to his doom. Chuck Taylor being literally drugged by his face, scraping against the ground. And they put a chair around his ankle, but instead they put it on his neck. And then Castagnoli stomped on that shit, and immediately I heard a shriek from Kentucky. So where Ann is, immediately I heard the Tunnel Talk Discord lighting up. And from there, like, Yuta acted initially kind of shocked about all this. The AEW crew rushed to the ring. Yuta then bailed. The Elite watched all this shit that happened on the ramp. Orange Cassidy was just like, look, like his friend literally died in front of him.
The part that made it the worst or the best, depending on your point of view on this, is Orange Cassidy was sprinting to the ring to make the save, and Claudio stomped on that fucker's neck right as Orange Cassidy was sliding through the rope, Rich. So that man was like, I was this late. I could have made a difference. It was heartbreaking. And that man, you know, I just died in your arms tonight. It must have been something he said. Bro, it was sad. Or
you know what it looked like?
Chuck Taylor went out sad. Ricky?
Yep, I was going to say it looked like Doughboy holding Ricky.
God damn it.
Oh, man. We got to entertain ourselves for this show. Like, man. What
look, man. You say you want to about what I liked or didn't like about this show. When this shit happened, I was having a blast. I was like, look, man, this is his role. His role is to die. He went out there and
he lived like a man. He died like a man.
He went out there and he fought for his country. Hey, you know, making a joke about Darvin Ham about that shitty timeout they keep showing about him, talking about like he wasn't doing any strategy. He was talking. Hey man, Chuck Taylor, he went out there and died for your country. Salute.
Yeah. Salute. Unreal.
Bro. Oh man. He cooked. He done.
We need some good feels, some good vibes from this show.
Now, one thing I will say is I saw a clip of the post match, which should have been left on camera. Orange Cassidy shoved Dan Garcia, enraged at what happened to his friend, his dead homie, and was like, "This is your fault because you made me get into this shit with them, and now they've hurt the people I love." And he obviously, you know, Garcia was like, look, man, we got to fight. We got to do something. And that was interesting, like, the part where it's like, the emotions of, are we doing the right thing? Should we lay down? What should we do? We're being overwhelmed by the NWO.
Well, y'all niggas got to fight. Y'all niggas got to fight. Like,
so yeah, man, like, I like this. And, yeah, man, I you know, it happened last year, but I'm up for another Orange Cassidy and Moxley match.
Yeah, that seems like that's where it's going. Maybe for Full Gear or whatever, but I think by the time that builds up, I think people are going to be into that match. Is being built pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to see more of, like, it seemed like all the BCC are doing is like causing chaos. Like, I want to see someone wrestle again. Like, I want to see Moxley like do something or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of this stuff on this show, it was like, all right, can we get can we hurry up and get Swerve back? Can we get Ospreay back? Can we you know,
like, this episode,
can the Elite figure out what they gonna do now?
This episode more than any other episode,
Darby
like highlighted the part of like, hey man, like this crew of baby faces ain't good enough. Like it was on display at the end of Russell Dream. It's getting further shown that like, hey man, they ain't got what it takes. They are out of their depth for this. They got outsmarted in the fucking parking lot.
And I think another thing,
locked in their locker room.
Why I struggle with these angles sometimes is like, all right, there are just other people that just don't give a fuck about any of this shit that is happening, that are good guys or whatever on this show. Like Adam Cole, he doesn't give a fuck about none of this shit.
Because that's because he's caught in a more intense conflict with MJF. Like he's pulled away.
Ricochet, he don't give a fuck about none of this shit.
Ricochet stuck with is in the thing with Takeshi and Callis. Same as Ospreay. Swerve when he shows up is gonna be put directly towards the Herf Syndicate. Like I see, like okay, in superhero like comic books or whatever else, right? Like they have like these big events where it's like, all right, this is a threat to the entire globe, right? You have to come up with excuses to take people off the table, right? All right, the Avengers are here. Where the fuck is Fantastic Four? Where's Iron Man? Where's Thor? Where's the Hulk? Right? Like, where are the heavy hitters? Are the most popular people in the you know, where are they? I think they've done a good enough job explaining like everybody of consequence that you would care about on this thing is pulled off the table into something else that's worthwhile that you want to see. I'm okay with that. My point is just like you should have just pulled one of them to the side for now. That to be like to make it look like they actually have to stand a chance, opposed to they have to wait. We're gonna have to wait months until we get somebody that can actually be a threat to Moxley in BCC. That's my problem.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard for these guys to like.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good for them to be in the program with those guys, but we know what it is.
Yeah, it's like ultimately like it's like all right. Daniel Garcia came out wearing the AEW shirt, and it's like I would love to think Daniel Garcia is going to be the guy that leads this team to victory, but I know it's not him,
right?
Seemingly, and
right.
I think he's doing a good job,
right?
But I think it's important for them to pick one of these guys that's around in this early time to ensure that they are part of winning the shit, to make it feel like it was they
Worth
just
it.
didn't get served up.
Right, when Babyface finally toppled the top of these you know terrorists, like one or two of them, right? Yeah, but the thing is, you already know it's probably you know like we talking about this, right? It'll probably end up being like either Darby or Orange. It won't be Garcia. That's it should be Garcia.
Yeah.
I think it should be Garcia.
Yeah, interesting. It could go a million ways, but you know, just based off what it looks like today, that's kind of I think where we're at on it. So, but yeah, that's all.
And this better not, and they better not drag this shit all the way out to fucking Blood and Guts next summer. They better not do it, because you know Moxley love nothing more than to drag a feud all the way for past 2 seasons all the way to get to the summer. You know he loves doing that. I'm warning you now. Don't do that shit, Moxley.
But yeah, I guess that's it, man.
All right. Do you want to plug the Chop Tees?
Yeah, make sure you guys get your merchandise from Chop-Tees. Get your One Nation Radio shirts, your Dream Team ones. Take your pictures in them, post them in the Discord, or you can check out OneLifetimeWorldwide.com. We got other pyramid shirts on there as well. Different stuff like that. One Nation Radio hoodies as well. Got the hats, of course, like this one right here. You can pick up Kobashi color. Got a bunch of different colors on there. I think there's a purple, there's a black, blue. So of course the orange. So I want to see some more hats getting sold. Put your hats on. Put your caps on. So what else we got on here? I'm still the Green Ranger. I'm still sitting here in this rather warm outfit. Here got the joint on, but I'm gonna go ahead and for the last couple seconds of the show while you plug, I'm gonna go ahead and don the joint so everybody can go ahead and take their screenshots and all that. So,
all All right, yeah. And as Rich said, make sure to take pictures of the chopped tees, put it on your OnlyFans, and be sure to listen to other shows. I'm sorry, and also go if you're watching the stream, go to our podcast show notes and click on the link to the rail so you can donate there, and be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, Imps WWE Adventure, Wrestling Out with Chris Things, Tunnel Talk, Poor Tunnel Talk. And the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later. Rich can't say peace or won't say peace because of the muffling, so we'll just live with it. Now this man now has the headphones around the Green Raven mask. This man is the script. Bye, y'all.
Peace out, y'all.
Later.
Growing your business can mean big-time logistical questions, like how are we going to keep up with all these local deliveries? Let Uber Direct offer you a helping hand. With Uber Direct, you take orders on your website, app, or by phone. Then drivers who are part of Uber's courier network pick them up from your store and deliver them to your customer's doorstep. Sounds simple, right? Uber Direct helps you give your customers what they want when they want it. Offer them delivery options in under 2 hours, on the same day, or scheduled up to 30 days in advance. Plus, share real-time tracking and ETAs by text. You can keep growing your business at a price that works for you. Never pay commission or hidden charges. Just pay a fixed fee per delivery. Delivery just got better with Uber Direct. Learn more at uberdirect.com.